What if I told you that the girl who got laughed off stage at her school talent show would one day perform at Madison Square Garden? What if I told you that the same girl, who wore the same torn dress to school every day, would eventually sign a record deal worth $30 million? This isn't another fairy tale. This isn't Hollywood magic. This is the true story of Isabella Rodriguez. And what happened next will shatter everything you think you know about dreams, rejection, and the power of never giving up. But here's the part that'll give you chills. Isabella didn't just become famous. She discovered a secret about human resilience that 99% of people never learn. And by the time I'm done telling you this story, you'll either be inspired to chase your impossible dream, or you'll make excuses like everyone else and wonder why you're still stuck in the same place 5 years from now. Because what Isabella did after that humiliating moment on stage changed not just her life, but the lives of millions around the world. Let me take you back to Roosevelt High School in Detroit, Michigan, March 15th, 2019, the annual talent show. Picture this. A 16-year-old girl with holes in her shoes, standing behind a dusty red curtain, clutching a borrowed guitar that was missing 2 strings. Isabella Rodriguez had been dreaming of this moment for 3 years. She'd written a song called Invisible, about feeling unseen, unheard, and unwanted. It was her truth, her pain, her hope, all wrapped into 4 minutes of raw emotion. But here's what makes this story different from every other underdog tale you've heard. Isabella wasn't just poor. She was invisible poor. The kind of poor where you eat cereal for dinner, because that's all there is. Where you do homework by candlelight, because electricity got cut off. Where you wear the same 3 outfits to school in rotation, and hope nobody notices. Her mom, Maria, worked 3 jobs just to keep their tiny apartment. Her dad? He left when Isabella was 8, leaving behind nothing but empty promises and unpaid bills. At school, Isabella was a girl everyone looked through. Not popular enough to be noticed. Not rich enough to fit in. Not confident enough to speak up. She ate lunch alone, sat in the back of every class, and dreamed of a life where her voice mattered. But that night, standing on that stage, something was different. As Isabella stepped into the spotlight, she saw the audience. 300 students, parents, and teachers. Some were already laughing. Not with her. At her. Look at her dress, someone whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. Is that guitar even tuned? Another voice mocked. Isabella's hands were shaking. Her voice cracked on the first note. The borrowed guitar felt foreign in her trembling fingers. And then it happened. 30 seconds into her song, someone in the audience shouted, "Get off the stage! You're embarrassing yourself." The laughter started. First a few snickers, then waves of cruel teenage ridicule, the kind that cuts deep and leaves scars. Isabella stopped singing. The music died. She stood there frozen as 300 people laughed at her dreams. But here's the moment that changed everything. Instead of running off stage like everyone expected, Isabella looked directly into the audience, tears streaming down her face. And she said something that would become legendary. "You can laugh at my clothes. You can laugh at my guitar. But you cannot laugh at my dreams. Because dreams don't care where you come from. They only care where you're going." And then she started singing again. This time, something was different. The pain in her voice wasn't just sadness. It was power. Every word carried the weight of every sleepless night, every empty stomach, every moment she'd felt invisible. The laughter stopped. One by one, the audience fell silent. By the time Isabella finished Invisible, there wasn't a dry eye in the auditorium. The girl who'd been laughed at was now getting a standing ovation. But the real magic happened after the show. Mrs. Sarah Chun, the music teacher, approached Isabella with tears in her eyes. "Isabella, I've been teaching for 20 years. I've never heard anything like that. You have something special, something rare." Mrs. Chun became the first person who truly believed in Isabella's gift. But believing wasn't enough. Isabella needed to do something with that belief. Here's where most people would expect a story to say Isabella became famous overnight. That's not what happened. What happened next was 2 years of the hardest work you can imagine. Mrs. Chin introduced Isabella to something called the 10,000-hour rule, the idea that mastery requires deliberate practice. Isabella decided she would put in those hours, no matter what it took. Every morning before school, 2 hours of vocal practice. Every lunch break, 1 hour guitar practice. Every evening after homework, 3 hours of songwriting, 6 hours a day, every single day. But Isabella didn't just practice randomly. She studied the greats. She analyzed how Adele controlled her breath, how Ed Sheeran structured his songs, how Taylor Swift connected with her audience. She learned about the music industry, about social media, about building an audience from zero. And slowly, something incredible started happening. Isabella began performing at local coffee shops, open mic nights, anywhere that would let her sing. At first, the crowds were small, sometimes just 5 people. But Isabella treated every performance like it was Madison Square Garden. She started posting videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. The first video got 47 views. The second got 89. The third got 234. But Isabella kept going. She understood something that most people never learn. Success isn't about one viral moment. It's about consistent, relentless improvement. Month by month, her skills improved. Her confidence grew. Her audience expanded. By her senior year, Isabella's YouTube channel had 10,000 subscribers. Her original songs were getting thousands of views. But the breakthrough came in the most unexpected way. It was October 2021. Isabella was performing at a small venue in downtown Detroit. In the audience was Marcus Johnson, a talent scout for Atlantic Records who happened to be in town visiting family. Marcus later said, "I've seen thousands of performers, but Isabella had something I'd never seen before. She didn't just sing songs. She told stories. She made you feel everything she'd been through." 3 weeks later, Isabella got a call that would change her life forever. "Isabella, this is Marcus Johnson from Atlantic Records. We'd like to offer you a recording contract." The girl who'd been laughed off stage was now being offered a deal with one of the biggest record labels in the world. But here's the part that shows Isabella's true character. She didn't just sign the contract and forget where she came from. She negotiated something unprecedented, a clause that would allow her to create a scholarship fund for underprivileged students who want to pursue music. Isabella's first album, Invisible No More, was released in March 2023. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. But the real impact was bigger than charts and sales. Isabella's story became a movement. Her concerts weren't just performances. They were gatherings of people who'd felt invisible, who'd been told they weren't good enough, who'd been laughed at for their dreams. She created the Invisible Foundation, providing instruments, lessons, and mentorship to kids who couldn't afford them. Today, Isabella Rodriguez has sold over 5 million albums worldwide. She's performed at the Grammy Awards. She's headlined festivals across the globe. But more importantly, she's helped thousands of young people find their voice. The girl who was once invisible is now illuminating the world. But here's what this story is really about. It's not about Isabella becoming famous. Plenty of people become famous. It's about the transformation that happens when you refuse to let other people's opinions define your destiny. Isabella discovered what I call the 3 pillars of unstoppable success. Pillar 1, pain becomes power. Isabella didn't run from her struggles. She transformed them into her strength. Every rejection became fuel. Every no became determination. Every tear became a lyric that would touch millions. Pillar 2, consistency beats talent. Isabella wasn't the most naturally gifted singer at Roosevelt High, but she was the most dedicated. While others relied on talent, Isabella relied on work. 6 hours a day, every single day, for 2 years. Pillar 3, service amplifies success. Isabella's success multiplied when she started using her platform to help others. True fulfillment doesn't come from what you achieve. It comes from what you contribute. But here's the part that might make you uncomfortable. Isabella had access to the same opportunities that exist today. YouTube was free. TikTok was free. Open mic nights were available. Music software was accessible. The difference wasn't opportunity. It was decision. Isabella decided that her circumstances wouldn't define her future. She decided that other people's opinions wouldn't determine her worth. She decided that her dreams were bigger than her fears. Right now, as you're watching this video, you have access to more tools, more platforms, more opportunities than Isabella ever did. So what's stopping you? What dream are you not pursuing because you're afraid of what people might think? What talent are you hiding because you don't think you're good enough? What story are you telling yourself about why you can't have the life you really want? Because I guarantee you, whatever excuse you're making, Isabella had a bigger one. Whatever obstacle you're facing, Isabella faced worse. The difference is simple. Isabella decided that her dreams were worth more than her comfort zone. Here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. Think about that thing you've always wanted to do. That dream you've been putting off. That talent you've been hiding. Write it down. Now write down 3 specific actions you can take this week to move closer to that dream. Not perfect actions. Not life-changing actions. Just 3 small steps. Because here's the truth that most people can't handle. Your dreams are not too big. Your belief in yourself is too small. Isabella Rodriguez didn't have some special gift that you don't have. She wasn't born with advantages you don't possess. She had what you have right now. A choice. The choice to let fear win or let dreams triumph. The choice to stay invisible or step into the spotlight. The choice to let other people's laughter define you or let your purpose guide you. What's it going to be? Because I promise you this. If a poor girl from Detroit can go from being laughed off stage to performing at Madison Square Garden, then whatever dream you have is not only possible, it's inevitable if you make the right choices. Starting today. Starting now. Your spotlight is waiting. Step into it.